The modern map of the Middle East is defined by the standoff between Iran and the West. This rivalry is not an accident of geography. It was sparked by a specific dispute over the control of oil in the 1950s. This is Mohammad Mossadegh. In 1951, as prime minister, he made a decision that threatened the global order. He nationalized the oil industry, taking control of Iran's most valuable resource out of the hands of British corporations. The response from the West was a secret operation. In 1953, the American and British intelligence agencies covertly engineered a coup d'état that successfully deposed Mossadegh. The intervention removed a democratically chosen leader and replaced him with an absolute monarch. It secured the flow of oil in the short term, but it left the Iranian people with a deep sense of stolen sovereignty and a growing resentment toward Western power. Following the coup, Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi was installed as an absolute monarch. With the opposition dismantled, he became the primary architect of a new, pro-Western Iran. Backed by American money, the Shah's government rapidly transformed the country. Cities like Tehran were built up with modern infrastructure, high-rises, and heavy urban traffic. But this progress was one-sided. While the cities modernized, the political system remained a strict autocracy, where dissent was silenced and the government remained closely aligned with the interests of its foreign backers. By the late 1970s, the tension between forced westernization and political repression had become unsustainable. The country was ready for a spark. The Shah's modernization efforts largely bypassed the working class and the more traditional religious sectors of society. By 1978, the regime had become completely isolated from its own people. Massive demonstrations broke out across the country. Protest banners filled the streets, explicitly targeting the monarchy and its ties to the United States. These protests were unique because they united rivals. Secular leftists, university students, and religious conservatives all marched together, with one goal: ending the Pahlavi dynasty. Standard political concessions were no longer enough. The public's anger had gone beyond policy. It was a total rejection of the monarchy itself. From exile, Ruhollah Khomeini became the unifying voice of the movement. He offered a clear alternative to the Shah's rule. Khomeini introduced a specific ideological structure called Velayat-e-Faqih, or the guardianship of the jurist. It was a plan to move the country from a secular monarchy to a government overseen by Islamic legal scholars. This framework was designed to be self-contained. It severed all ties to Western political models and monarchical traditions, rooting the state's legitimacy entirely in its own religious interpretation. In early 1979, the Shah fled Iran for good. Shortly after, Khomeini made a triumphant return to the country, welcomed by millions. The monarchy was gone, but it wasn't replaced by a democracy. Instead, the country adopted a radical anti-Western template that would change the region's security for decades. With the formal establishment of the Islamic Republic, Iran's relationship with the world flipped. The nation moved from being Washington's primary regional partner to a theocratic state that viewed the United States as its main adversary. This new identity was defined by rejection. The new government immediately cut all diplomatic ties with both the United States and Israel. In November 1979, protesters stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, scaling the perimeter gates and taking American staff hostage for 444 days. The hostage crisis demonstrated that the new regime's hostility toward the West was non-negotiable. By holding American diplomats captive, the government solidified its revolutionary credentials at home while ensuring there was no path back to the old alliance. The cycle was complete. The 1953 operation intended to protect oil interests directly created the conditions for the 1979 revolution. This map shows the outcome. Iran spent the next several decades building an axis of resistance, a network of proxy forces designed to counter American and Israeli influence across the entire region. Western intervention intended to secure a resource instead helped create its most enduring ideological rival, permanently changing the military and political